Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique real estate firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing consultants who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my real estate team member, Mary Baker, and I, along with the director of Boston Connect Real Estate, Melissa Wallace, provide you with our unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We like to mix it up sometimes, so not only will you hear our perspective on real estate topics, but you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of some of our real estate agents at Boston Connect Real Estate and the preferred professionals that we trust. Be part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We'd love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team or one of the dedicated agents at Boston Connect Real Estate to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with us at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I am joined in our studio here at Boston Connect Real Estate with the one and only Kristen Howlett.
Hello, South Shore people.
Hello, South Shore people.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. We have new microphones, and
so you have to
be a little bit...
You can just...
Well, they don't extend it towards you, so you got to, talk. See me? Look at me.
Here.
If you're on Facebook Live, you can see how close I am to my microphone.
Have to stand up.
Yeah. I like to stand when, because I'm moving, I'm grooving.
I brought the sun in with my sunglasses.
Yeah, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, she's wearing, I don't even know what those are.
I'm feeling a little bougie tonight.
Yeah, you're feeling a little bougie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I am not joined by my team members, Mary Horton or Sharon McNamara tonight, but I am joined by Kristen Howlett. So please, why don't you take this moment to reintroduce yourself to any of our listeners who have heard you before, or introduce yourself to any listeners that are joining us for the first time that haven't heard you.
I feel like I had all this time to get comfortable here, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, woof.
Yeah, you were yelling up to me, being like, "Are you ready?" And I was standing here like, "Hello."
And my sunburned.
George asked me if I was doing the show by myself.
Nope. I'm here.
Nope. That's why I assumed.
So my name is Kristen Howlett. I'm a full-time realtor at Boston Connect Real Estate. I service the South Shore and beyond, infinity and beyond. Anywhere you name it, I'll go. Just text me, I'll follow.
Give me a holla.
Give me a holla.
Every
time. Do you notice that? That's every time I send you something on Dot Loop, I write holla.
I know. Yeah. You sent me 2 things last night and you're like, holla. You didn't even say anything else. I was just like, all right, let's see what she was sending me.
So, So that's about it.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's you. You've done this show with me several times. You're like my honorary co-host.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. I just had Tracy Grady on Saturday. That was a fun show. My shows with Tracy are just kind of like, we don't really have a topic. We just kind of show up and talk and then hope that people don't change the channel.
I don't think they do. I don't think
so too. We get a lot of great feedback when it's just the two of us and we're just having.
Did I listen on Saturday? I don't think so.
Oh, well,
no.
Thanks for nothing.
I was at a grad party.
Oh, you were partying it up and we were working hard over here. But you're on the show with me all the time and I, greatly appreciate it. I know Sharon and Mary do it as well. So,
today, again, yesterday I started thinking about topics and, I think we came up with a good one today.
Yeah. So we were going to do something else. I don't even know what we were
top
you
10
just kept
reasons
saying
to sell?
Top 10. And I was like, top 10 what? And you're like, well,
top 10 something.
It was something easy to go through. But, on Tuesdays here at our office, office at Boston Connect Real Estate, we have these roundtable discussions where, we sometimes, it depends on who's running it. So like sometimes we have an agenda and like we try to stick to that and get through all of that. But other times it's just sort of an open discussion. People ask a question and then it just sort of snowballs from there. So Michelle Fay, who is a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, she ran the discussion today, and it was about ways to get your offer accepted when you're a buyer's agent.
In this competitive
buyer's market. So we were coming up with some strategies and some things that I have worked with our agents who are in the discussion. I sort of came from a buyer perspective. A lot of people know what I do here at Boston Connect Real Estate, so I sort of, I can see everything that comes through the door. That's my job. But as a buyer, I have to put myself in a different position. So, sometimes I'd like to go into these discussions and sort of say, hey, like, this is what buyers are looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Like, every buyer is different, but, I feel like I bring a little different perspective to some things. And, so today we were talking about buyers and getting offers accepted in this market, which we're still doing, multiple offers, and it's very competitive when there's things to put offers in on. But during the discussion, Sue Bollinger, who has a listing here in Barker Square in Pembroke, it's a 55-plus community, and we sort of just snowballed from there. Like, a lot of the times that happen, like, a lot of the times we get, topics for the show based off of some of these discussions. So, like, someone might say one thing, and then we're like, oh, we all, jump on it, like, oh, yeah, like, that's a good idea. So we were talking about 55-plus communities, and it's sort of just snowballed from there. So guess what?
I don't think we've ever done this.
I don't think so either.
I tried to look
this
back
might be
earlier.
A new one. Yeah, I don't think we'll have to tell Sharon, because Sharon's just like, oh yeah, do you do the show? And then I'm like, all right, well, this is what we're doing.
What is the number at WATD again?
It is 781-837-4900. Yep. So George is in the studio at WATD. Again, 781-837-4900 is the phone number over there. So if you want to join in on the discussion,
people to call in tonight.
Yeah,
let's make this the most interactive radio show we've ever had.
First off, it is the first time we're doing this topic, and secondly, we want to have the most callers we've ever had.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Let's go. Let's go, George. Are you ready? Put your finger on the trigger over there.
Yep.
You're what?
I'm good.
Are you back on this conversation?
I'm done.
So we're going to be talking about 55-plus communities. So I am 32 years old.
Wait, can I interrupt for a moment?
Yeah.
By the end of this year, I will be 2 years away from being able to live in a 55-plus community. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but I will. I mean, I used to think of it as being...
I had to turn the music off in the other room. So you're 2 years away? Well,
October 27th, I'll be 53.
Nice.
So 2 years, I can start putting some applications in.
Yes. May I ask how old Brian is?
Oh, well, in some communities, only one person needs to be 55.
Yeah,
so I can take him along for the ride. He is younger.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. So there are communities out there that if you are in a relationship, both people don't have to be 55 plus. One might. It all just depends on the rules, and we'll sort of get into how you find that out. But yeah, so I'm 32 years old. I am not ready to move into a 55-plus community, so I don't know much about them. So you're sort of going to be running this show, but so I'll be asking you the questions. But
I feel like I have
a lot of people.
I do.
And your mother lives in a 55-plus, right?
My mom lives in a 55-plus, and I think that I'm going to bring a lot to the table this evening. And my 18-year-old has a newfound occupation that he is landscapers for 55-plus.
Oh.
So it's like 55-plus everywhere.
Oh,
we can
nice.
just
so there are a lot around here that Okay, if we just laugh the whole time, I apologize ahead of time.
All right, so let's get started.
So let's highlight some of the unique features, like and amenities that could be offered by a 55 plus community.
Well, let's talk about what a 55 plus is.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, a 55 plus community is an adult community because by 55,
hopefully you're an adult.
You're an adult.
Hopefully you're an adult.
Your mental capacity might, like me, I don't feel 55. I still feel 12. So you are of a certain age. That age usually does not involve children. So
that may benefit from living in a community that doesn't have anybody under the age of 55. Could we say that?
Yeah. What do you mean? I missed that.
Because you said children, like, oh, you're not going to be around children and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
quiet.
Well,
I think that's the whole draw of it.
Yeah.
You know, you're with like-minded 55, over 55. But you know what? Here's the thing too. I mean, I'm joking that I'm going to be 53, but I still feel like I'm young. So a lot of these communities they're still very vibrant, and there's a lot going on, and there's walking. And you know what? It is a great place for people to end up. Most of them, a lot of them are one level living. And we're thinking, which I know a lot of people in my demographic are thinking, I joke at Cochise all the time at the open houses. I'm like, I know right now you're spry running up those stairs, but in a couple of years you might be enjoying the fact that you have a first floor primary bedroom.
Yeah.
So people are definitely looking forward, and the idea that a lot of these communities take care of your landscaping. They take care of the plowing. So literally you move in and you just take care of your little
Well,
space.
it has a lot of great, features that, like, a condo would have. So,
100%.
if...
I just sneezed.
we've done... bless you. We've had plenty of shows on, condo living and the pros of that, even the cons of condo living. But I feel like, with the 55 plus community, plus you usually have fees that go along with living in a community like that. It's very, reminiscent of, condo living, but it has, a little bit more sort of rules that go along with it, correct?
Right. And some people want the freedom of not having to upkeep they've been slaves to their homes for 20, 30 plus years. And the idea of going in and, maybe just cleaning the house and maybe doing a little bit of light weeding outside is, and more time to hang out with. There's a huge, it's a community.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, they do trips and they do things. And there's usually the HOA, and then there's a homeowners association that's handled by, and my mom is big on her.
Yeah.
She's my mom is the president of the Manufactured Homes Association or something.
It's funny that you emphasized community, because it just popped into my head that when we talk about condos, it's it's a condo complex, or condo. We never say condo community, but every time we talk about 55 plus, we always say 55 plus community.
And I always tell my people when they dabble in it, I'm a pretty straight shooter, so I tell them the wonderful things about it, and then I tell them the things that maybe they hadn't thought of that could impact their lives. And that's from selling, helping people sell, helping people buy, and seeing the different challenges that come along with that.
Yeah.
And as far as the community, I just lost my train of thought. But so a lot of people are kind of afraid to get in. I don't want everybody to know my business. But you can be as involved as you want, or not involved at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just lost my train of thought when we were just looking at each other. What was I going to say? I don't know, something. Yeah. So, I feel like a 55 plus community is a great place to age in place.
100%.
There's so many resources and so many, I would be curious to know if there are studies out there possibly that would sort of depict what is better for those who are aging, whether they're aging in a home that they've been in for so long, or they're aging in a community that sort of brings them life back. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep. I think let's go back to COVID. I think a lot of the people that were in these communities, so one that I'm super familiar with is High Pond in Bridgewater. And so during COVID, I volunteered at the senior center in Bridgewater, and a lot of my things were phone calls to people, and most of them were, you can tell by the addresses, people that resided in High Pond.
In High Pond,
Just making sure that they were okay, making sure did they need anything. I started doing grocery shopping. The funny thing is, that was the demographic we were also worried about, but they're the ones, when Owen and I would go and drop off the food, I'd say, you can't go in. You have to just drop it off. And they'd be like, come on in, honey.
Yeah.
Do you want it? They missed.
They're so used to that sense of, again, community.
Yes.
You know?
That they missed it. They missed not being able to talk to people. And everybody in the community was worried about everybody else. So I tell my clients, if it's something like, I have two people. One is Joanne, who you know, who's adorable. Yeah. And moved in and was like, yeah, I'm out of here. Yeah. Like she's a very young,
super
55
young,
plus.
spirited.
Yes. So that was not a good spot for her. She likes to keep to herself, and she didn't, she didn't like, it wasn't a good fit for her. I have another client, Mary, who just sold her home that she lived in forever, and she loves it. She's thriving. I just saw her the other day. She's doing amazing. She jokes that she doesn't really want to be a part of the community, but she is. She's, making friends, and she walks, and she is. And for someone like her, I think it's such a great spot because she's safe. She had lived by herself for so many years, and now she's safe. If she's home and somebody hasn't seen her for a couple of days, they're going to say, oh my gosh, I got to check on Mary.
We got to check on Mary.
And she has a woman who lives next door to her who's they're both widowers, and they're going to keep each other company and keep an eye on each other. And that fills me up like you would not believe.
Well, you want to hear something else? My mom just texted me and she goes, wait, she's my age? She sounds so young. I'm shocked. Liz didn't know how old you are.
Liz, don't forget
my mom's 52.
Yeah, Liz, we could move in together in a couple of years.
Yeah, you guys could live in a 55-plus community together.
We could be like...
You probably have to take my brother, my 22-year-old brother. You might have to take him, but so I hope that made your night.
It did.
Yeah, so I know we're going to get a call soon from Sue Bollinger because she does have a listing here in Pembroke that is in a 55-plus community. So it's sort of snowballed from this conversation today. But, I think that's great.
Part of that conversation today, too, about Sue was because, and Sue, I'm sure, it has sold in 55-plus, but it's a different approach. Because a lot of the older, let's not say me and Liz's age, 52, because we both think we're super young. But, once you get 65 and up, maybe they're not really looking. Maybe they're looking on Zillow, but it is a different feel as to how you market it and how you usually it's word of mouth. It's usually maybe someone else in the community that lives there knows of somebody who's really dying to get into the community.
Someone comment. Oh, okay, hold on one second. Someone commented on Facebook and said, "I thought you were 39."
Me?
Yeah, you. Is this Sue from Pembroke?
We do have Sue, yes.
Nice.
There.
Hello, Sue Bollinger. How are you?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing in the studio today?
Oh, good. Did you listen to us a little before you called?
Yes, I did.
We've been talking about you. Okay, good.
Yes, definitely. So it's funny that you mentioned, being able to, as you're aging in place and you get to the age of 55 and you don't feel like you're really old enough to go into a 55 plus, and you might have a spouse that's younger.
Yeah.
So
this one over here.
Actually, at 24 Barker Square, my listing that I have for sale, you can actually live there at 55 years old and have a spouse that's younger. And in addition to that, you can bring adult children, older children. Well, you can bring children with you if you want to. So it's actually kind of a unique situation. Yeah. So there's all different types of 55-plus communities out there. And, Barker Square in Pembroke is actually one of those communities that, they don't necessarily have the big clubhouse and that kind of thing, but it's more all townhouses. It's a small complex, and it is a 55 plus, and you can bring children with you. Normally, if you're 55, you probably have adult children, but, a lot of the 55 pluses restrict that. And, people don't want to kick their kids out. So it's a nice option.
Oh, no. My mom texted me and said, Ethan is not coming with us to the community. Her and Kristen are moving in together.
Well, and that's such a good point, because I do say that do your homework. I have a list of 55 plus with a lot of their rules and regulations. But for somebody that might need that, I do say that from the get-go. I've had people who were potential buyers who had situations where they had custody of their grandchildren, maybe for a couple of months at a time, and they and it wasn't going to fit. Yeah. But you know what? In other communities, they might be a little bit more loose with their rules, and yes,
Sue, before you talk about your listing more, I want to give you the opportunity to reintroduce yourself. I know you've come on the show before with us, but just reintroduce yourself to all of our listeners, okay?
Absolutely. So, Sue Bollinger, I'm a full-time realtor, and I service all of the South Shore, really. And I've been selling real estate for about 20 years and have been at Boston Connect almost since the beginning.
Yeah.
I was 1 year in, so been there for quite a while. But yeah, I've been there for a while, and if anybody needs to reach me or who might be interested in purchasing a great 55 plus townhome in Pembroke, you can call me at 508-317-5729.
Can you give your phone number one more time?
Sure, it's 508-317-5729.
Okay, so tell us about your listing.
So, like Kristen was saying, having a first floor bedroom is so important because, like you said, you might be able to run up and down the stairs now, but in a few years, you probably will want that first floor master bedroom or primary bedroom. So this home has a first floor primary bedroom, as well as, the bathroom, the laundry, kitchen, everything is on the first floor that you might need. It also has a full, unfinished walkout lower level. So somebody, if they really wanted the additional space or wanted to bring, have a big family room for kids or whatever, it's a great space to finish. It walks right out onto a patio area and overlooks the very, woods and a nice rolling lawn. So it's very private back there. And then on the second floor, there is an additional bedroom, an additional bathroom. There's an office, and there's a loft area. So lots of extra space if you want it or for guests, but everything you need for living is right there on the first floor. And one of the things that I love about this, small complex is it's only 24 units. And in addition to that, because they don't have extra amenities like, the clubhouse and the pool and such, the fees are only $350 a month.
Oh, that's so cheap.
Yes, it's so affordable.
And Sue, what's included in the HOA?
So landscaping, snow removal, exterior maintenance, the roofs, and that kind of thing are all included in the HOA. And then, you just have your normal expenses because, you just have your normal heat and electric type thing. Mm-hmm. This particular home, has an updated central air and, it's really a nice open floor plan. The living room is cathedral. It has a gas fireplace and a one-car garage, which is nice, So a lot of people
right, because
really
a lot of them do
garage.
not have a garage.
Yeah, so in this particular complex, they all have garages, which is great. So, yeah, it's beautiful, and I'm actually going to be doing an open house this week, and I have not determined the time yet, but I am planning to be there on Saturday, probably 11 to 1, but, stay tuned.
Oh, awesome. I was just looking at my thing. I wonder if there's a way that we can post the link to it on the Facebook page.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know
if you go to our Facebook Live, just put in the information, Sue.
Okay.
If
just
you
at least the address.
See our live, put in the information in your contact information, so make sure everybody can see that and get that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else? Do you have anybody in search of anything or any other words of wisdom when it comes to 55-plus communities?
Well, if I gave you my list of buyers right now, it would be very extensive, so I'm not going to do that to you. But words of wisdom, if you're thinking of right-sizing, I think the best thing you can do, no matter what the condition of your home, is to contact a realtor. That's my biggest. I've come in contact with many folks recently who might be afraid to let people into their home because they're afraid that they're afraid to sell their home, and they're afraid people will come in and sort of judge them. But we're professionals, and I think Melissa and Kristen can speak to the fact that we've pretty much seen everything. So there's never any judgment when we go into your house. We go in, we look at the condition of your home. It doesn't matter to me how cluttered it is, or the 50 boxes from your kids that are lined up in your basement or whatever. Because the kids move out and they leave all their stuff behind, of course. So I think that's the first step. Just have someone come in and evaluate your home. And talk about what the next steps can be. Sometimes it takes 2 months, and sometimes it takes 2 years, and that's okay.
Yeah, you're right. We had that discussion, I think, at our last meeting too, about people who maybe they're living alone at this point, and whoever was taking care of things is not there, and they need help. That's what we're here for, to help everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's my biggest piece of advice.
That is your biggest piece of advice. That's good advice, Sue. That is good advice, Sue. All right, well, make sure that you let me know when your open house is so we can promote it, okay?
Absolutely.
At some point this week.
Great topic, guys. Thanks for talking about it.
Yeah, well, this is your topic. You sort of gave us the idea, so thanks for giving us the topic. We've actually never done a show on 55-plus communities, so
well, at least in a number of years. I think I was on one. It's way back though. It was probably
all right. Well, it was before me, so
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a good topic. I'm glad you did it.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Thanks for the idea, Sue.
All right, Sue.
All right. Well, thanks so much for calling, Sue, and good luck with Barker Square.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Woohoo.
Bye.
So you know what I think is also, I just thought when Sue was saying that, I also feel like 55 plus is also becoming much more popular.
Yeah, and why do you say that?
Because I just feel like more and more people, I feel like it used to mean a certain thing, but now there's more and more communities popping up. There's something for everyone. Like Sue said, some have rules, some are more lenient. Some allow dogs, some don't. Some allow adult children. Owen's first grade preschool teacher, Miss Katie, she messaged me on Facebook, and she told me that, hold on, we know Pine Hill Estates in Rainham does not allow adult children. They do allow dogs, but they do not allow adult children, so figure that. But Titicut Estates in Taunton does allow adult children. And I met Miss Katie's mom at one of my Pine Hill open houses.
Oh,
so
nice.
I asked her to call in, but she was feeling too shy.
Well, if you're not feeling shy, 781-837-4900, or you can go, we're live on Facebook, so follow Boston Connect Real Estate, all of the Connect pages, McNamara Broker Team, Kristen Howlett Realtor, and you can sort of comment on there, and you can join in on the discussion if you want to. But so for a second, talk about like how you, if I'm a buyer, I want to live in a 55-plus community, how do I go about finding out what the rules and restrictions are in the community?
Call me.
Oh.
Text me.
And how would you get the information?
I have amassed a small little arsenal of rules and regs.
You're the rule follower.
Some of them are tight to their rules and the application process. So typically what we see is it's somebody who's downsizing, who sells, and a lot of the purchases are cash purchases. Because depending on, now it's going to escape me, East Bridgewater does have a community that is a standalone. You own the land, you own the house. It's 55 plus. Barker Square is probably the same because it's a condo. So it's not like, but a lot of them are, which a lot of people have a stigma, modular homes. So it's a land lease. So you own the home, but you rent the land, and it's a monthly rent every month, and it can range anywhere from $500 to, sometimes close to $1,000 a month. But you don't pay taxes, so that includes usually your water. It usually includes no taxes. So really, the only other
real estate taxes.
No real estate taxes. Yep. And really, the only other monthly would be your utilities, like what you use for gas, what you use for, and they're smaller homes, so they're more,
Are they similar to the ones in Lakeville? What's the community? Or Middleborough? Middleborough.
Oak Point.
Oak Point, yeah. Okay.
Yep. So Oak Point is also another land lease. So when you do that, if you're not paying cash, it is a different, with the land leases in particular, it's not your traditional mortgage.
Yeah.
It's called the chattel loan. And typically, so if you think about that, like I know Oak Point is pretty high up in their HOA fees. I want to say they're like maybe 800, maybe close to 9.
We could have the Hunt team, who are realtors here at Boston Connect Real Estate, they actually live in Oak Point, and they are like the mayors down there. They love it.
Yeah.
They love living there. They're very active, and they just offer a ton of stuff for the people who live in that community. So I would assume that they are on the high side.
But they also, Oak Point also is like Disneyland for 55 plus people because they offer a ton of amenities. So you're kind of paying for that. But then on top of it, so picture your land lease, your chattel loan. It's a pretty hefty interest rate. It's not your traditional. So that on top of, so sometimes people take a small chattel loan out, depending on, what your finances are. And then you would pay that monthly fee. But it's important to talk to an agent, talk to a real estate agent who can point you in the right direction to get somebody who can handle, like I know Bluestone Bank, it kind of depends on whatever community, who they approve to come in and do the mortgages. And there's a couple that just do the standalone, but it's almost like buying a car.
Yeah. I think, was it you or maybe even Sue, who was just on the phone? I have done so many 55 plus sales that like I sort of through osmosis learned that like it's a totally different loan.
Totally different.
Because you're not necessarily like buying everything that you would with a traditional sale.
Yep. So sometimes can be a little bit more monthly. So that might be something you can do your homework and try to find one that has a lower fee, and if the amenities are important. And, sometimes the ones in Oak Point have sometimes as big as 3 bedrooms. Yeah. I sold one in Pine Hill, and it was 2 bedroom, 2 full living rooms. It had like a family room, beautiful updated kitchen, beautiful front room, a primary, 2 bathrooms, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous. So I think it's you can look around and you can find something that's a good fit for you.
Yeah, but also, like you said, so getting back to my question with how would you know all this stuff is you would talk to a lot of like that's why you use a buyer's agent, is so they can get the information for you, because not everybody who is a buyer knows where to get the information from or what questions to ask. But somebody who is a professional in this industry would already know, or at least know where to get that information.
And I found on the listings that I've had, depending on where they are, it's super competitive. So you want to get like Mary, my cute client that I adore, who ended up buying in Pine Hill. We manifested it. We walked. I knew that she was going to live where she was going to live. Yeah. And as soon as something came up, I was on the phone with the agent, talking it through. Kind of making it happen. I've learned that the listings that I have, they're not your typical. Sometimes people talk to other people, or a lot of the residents that already live there will come in and kind of look around and then kind of scope it out for one of their friends. Yeah. So a lot of times it's not like a traditional in this market, put it on, it's gone at the open house. Sometimes it takes a couple of weeks. Yeah. Because you have showings, or you have people who maybe don't know that they can come for a showing and they're waiting for that open house, or a lot of just people that came by because they saw the signs outside.
And sometimes there's a pre-approval process within the community, correct?
Yep, 100%.
You have to talk a little bit about that.
You have to be pre-approved, and usually you would put that in with your offer. They have their reasons for not. I have a funny story which remind me to say afterwards. Okay. A lot of the pre-approval process is, they usually require a credit check. It depends on which one. They usually just like go on Credit Karma, pull your own, go on freecreditreport.com, grab your credit check. Your credit report. They don't need to know the nitty gritty. They just need to know that, I'm not even actually sure what they're looking for. They usually come in and they go over everything with you. You put the application in and then they let you know. Usually, I know the ones that we've dealt with, it's usually 24 to 48 hours whether you know if you are approved. Mm-hmm. I've had somebody who was able to scoop in and get a great price for one in High Pond because the people before were denied. I don't know why they were denied, but they were. But
denied by the community.
By the community.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, what's your story? Is that your funny story?
So I did have
sad.
this guy. So I was listing one. It was an open house, and they're all relatively quiet. It's a nice, quiet community. This was a Sunday. It was beautiful out. The sun was shining. And in comes, it kept reminding me of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I went, oh, yeah. You know that song? Yeah. This guy comes down. He's like in his IROC Z with his
What's IROC Z?
A car? You don't know what an IROC is? Oh, my God. I just aged myself. Like, do you know what? Do you know when people, it wasn't a moonroof, but they had like the things where only half of the roof came off?
Oh, yeah.
So he was driving one of those. He was hot stuff. And
was he wearing like a windbreaker?
His
like
radio was blasting. And he came in on two wheels and he was so excited. And he came in.
Denied by the
I'm going to buy this. He said, I'm going to buy this. And he was 55. And as we started talking, he said that he was getting married and his wife was in her 30s.
Okay.
And he said that they might want to have a child. And I said, well, I don't know if this is the right spot for you. And he said, what are they going to do? Kick me out? I said, yeah. They might. They might.
Yeah.
But his plan was...
Did they both have to be 55 and over?
They do have to both be 55.
So
and I think that really is, I think years ago you could be grandfathered in at some point, but,
What were you about to say? I just interrupted you.
That his idea was he was going to get the house, get the wife, and then
get the baby.
Whatever happened.
Yeah, I wonder if that, what would happen? I don't know.
So I think, we have to be careful of age discrimination, but if the rules are the rules and those are the rules, then, there is a reason why, the cute 60-year-old can't come in with his 20-year-old wife because there could be a potential that she could, have a child.
It's potential. That's interesting. I never really thought about, and now I've learned a little bit about cars too. Even though I'm kind of dressed like a mechanic today. You see what I look like?
I said she could change the oil.
I could change it. Yeah. Oh, tire rotation. Is that what it's called?
Oh, Trish said it's a Camaro IROC Z.
Oh,
what are they called? What were those, Miss Katie? What was the thing called when you could do the T roof, whatever it's called? You took the sides off, so it was kind of like a T. Like over the driver's side and over the passenger side was open. Yeah, but there was like a thing in the middle.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Somebody
they're not
who's
moon
listening,
roofs, but they're like something else. Anyway, that guy was all right, and he talked my ear off.
Really?
He never came back, though.
Yeah, he never came back. So he didn't put in an offer?
Nope. No.
I know, but
I burst his bubble.
Well, here's the thing. You do have to be sensitive to situations. Everybody's got a different situation that they're living with. So, you do have to be sensible with that. However, in that situation, it wasn't the rules are the rules, like you said. Yeah. So that community, both people had to be over the age of 55.
Yeah, and you are not allowed to have any children, whether they're toddlers or adult children.
Yeah.
Everyone has to be 55.
I think at some point there is an exception, however, correct? Like if there was, no, you're shaking your head no, but I would
some of them.
No, but I would think that there are maybe communities that would make an exception if an adult child needed to have needed assistance and needed to live with their parents.
The ones that I've been familiar with will make no exceptions. So you would have to.
Interesting.
We talk about, so that's something that I do say, and I do say to people from the beginning. I have another gentleman who I worked with for a long time whose son was disabled, newly disabled, and he knew that when his son got to that point, he could not come and live with them. And he was young. I want to say he was in his 20s. And that was they were looking, anticipating what if that happens. It ended up, I think he went to go live with his brother, but it was definitely, but I do say that if you feel like, I mean, I've talked to my mom about it. If something ever happened to Brian, me and the kids couldn't go live with my mom. We just wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
We have stayed over there when we've lost power.
Yeah.
And we've been comfortable, and it's great, and we eat all her food, and we're comfy, but we're only there for a short amount of time, and then we got to go.
Yeah, you got to go. Bye. So that is a consideration.
Yep.
When you do have extended family or anybody in your life that sort of may have to depend on you at some point, depending on the circumstances. If you move into a community that just absolutely no exceptions, that has to be taken under consideration. So, like you said, your mother could not take you guys in.
I think she could take me for like 3 months, and then we'd have to leave, and then we could possibly come back, but we couldn't live there, full time.
But again, you would know that if you read her rules and regulations. It's very much like a condo. Like, this is what you can and can't do in a community like that.
Yep.
Correct? But your mom likes living there.
She loves living there.
Yeah.
Yep. It's super quiet. It's nice and relaxing. Owen just went to her neighbor's house, and he's been weeding for her the past couple of years and doing her mulch beds in the front. And
So do they not have a...
They do, the HOA does the
common areas?
In your lawn, but not like your beds, not... your mulch beds, you're on your own.
But do they have restrictions of what you can do with your beds?
I'm sure they do, but I don't think it's that. Restrictive, because everybody has different.
Yeah, like I know there's some communities that like you can only have like white Christmas lights outside, or holiday lights or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you can only use white, or you can only you can't have a flag of unless it's like an American flag or like stuff like that.
Most of them do, and some people listen. I'm a rule follower, so I like that.
I know
stuff.
you are a rule follower. I'm a secret keeper,
and I do think that the majority of people like that because it's out there doing it for a reason. They want you want when you go into High Pond and when you go into Pine Hill in Rainham, you go through and everybody's lawns look nice. It's like little perfect little community, and the grass is nothing's overgrown, nothing's unsightly, and that keeps your values up. Everybody's pretty proud to.
Is it Miss Katie?
Miss Katie.
Yeah, she said it. Firebird.
A Firebird. Yeah.
Firebird. That's what it is.
But is it a tea roof?
Tea roof? T-bird? What's a T-bird?
I don't know. What are those roof things called?
I don't know. George, do you know? You know
it's not
cars,
a sunroof.
Right? Sunroof. Oh no, Tim was the one who went on about car. I don't know. We only have 3 minutes left. I want to make sure that you're able to give your contact.
It's a T-top.
T-top. Well, how did we not know that?
Yeah.
T-top. Well, I don't know.
Someone in this form says sunroofs are cool, but I'd rather have a T-top.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was that on Facebook?
Yeah. A T-top, you had to take the T's off, I think.
Yeah, you had to take the All right, well, now we're getting off topic, but we only have 3 minutes left.
We didn't go over anything.
We didn't go anything over, so maybe we might have to do another show on this. But yeah, cool topic.
Well, something I did want to mention earlier is right next to us on Mattakesett Street. The plans just got approved for a 55 plus. But it's rentals next door that will be, we have to find out more about it.
Yeah, Sharon definitely knows more about that. So maybe if we continue this discussion or maybe the next time she's on the show, she can sort of talk about sort of that aspect. But yeah, that is going right next door to us.
And we are excited because we're thinking that anyone who maybe is looking to downsize and they don't have anywhere to go. Yeah, there's going to be, I think, like 66 units.
Yeah, so 60 or 55 or something, 55 plus rentals. So,
Yeah, they'll be right next door to us.
Right next door to us. You can come and hang out with us.
Anytime you want.
Yeah. Why don't you give your contact information to everybody who's listening?
Kristen Howlett, a realtor. I think at KristenHowlettRealtor.com, maybe on Facebook.
Oh my, no, that's not right.
My phone number is 617-448-4896. 617-448-4896. My email is Kristen@BostonConnect.com with an E. And yeah, I'm here most times anyways. You can always just pop in and we can
you
talk
really
about
are.
55 plus.
To talk about 55 plus. But you can also, re-listen to the show. We're going to be on, we're going to upload this as a podcast. So talkrealestateroundtable.com. You can go to bostonconnect.com to find all of our contact information. But be sure to follow us
I
on
always
social
wanted
media.
to say this.
What?
Or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Yeah. Well, I usually say that. But
I love that. I've never said it before.
Or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Again, Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining me
Thank
tonight.
you. Thanks for having
I always
me.
have fun with you. And thanks, George. And we will be back live on Saturday from 10 to 11. So tune in. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.